Today, let's look at the menus in Google Drawings. We're going to take these one at a time and look at some of the settings in this program that are different from the others that we've used. The first one to look at is the File menu. Here's where we're going to find all the things we're used to, making another document of some sort, making a copy of this one, and a couple of things we haven't used yet. The first one we want to look at is Page Setup. This is going to let us change what the page looks like. The default is their standard 4:3, which is not exactly what we want. The easiest thing for us to do is going to be to go down here to Custom and decide what we want it to do. A standard piece of paper is 8.5 by 11. That's what we can print on. That's anything you can imagine is 8.5 by 11. If you want your paper to be of portrait orientation, you're going to put 8.5 in this first box. And you're going to put 11 in this next box, and you're going to be sure that this says inches. Now, later on, with some other projects we have coming up, we're going to need to know how many pixels it is, and we can change that, as well as change it to points or centimeters, or leave it as inches, whatever information you know, whatever unit you're measuring in. For us, for this, we're going to leave it at inches. If we leave it at 8.5 by 11, this is a portrait size piece of paper, and you're used to that, and you see the proportions, and you can design from there. If you want it to be landscape, you're going to go back to Page Setup, and instead of it being 8.5 by 11, it's going to be 11 by 8.5. And that's going to turn the paper, instead of pushing a button like we're used to in a dock, this is going to take it and make it landscape orientation. This is a design choice that you make, and if you'll make it first, and from here in the File menu that we're dealing with in this video, down here in Page Setup, decide how you want this to be oriented and make that change. Don't wait until you're halfway through with what you've designed to decide and change it. It's going to mess up everything else you put on the page and be a pain. So think about how you envision this, follow the directions that you were given, whatever they may be, and work with Page Setup first, even though it is all the way down here at the bottom. The other thing I want to be sure and point out in the File menu is this Download As. Because we are working with a drawing and we want to be able to use it like it's a graphic when we get done with it, when you're finished, you have it all exactly like you want it and it's all perfect, you want to go over here and you want to decide what this is you want to download it as in many situations. If you're just turning it in as an assignment, you'll turn it in as a Google Drawing. I'll see it, we'll be fine. If, however, you want to use this as a PDF or a JPEG or a PNG or an SVG, you can select that and it will download your document as any of these. If we're going to use it on the web, really the best option is going to be this PNG. It's a really versatile file type. It's what you are going to see online. You're going to put it on the website, if we're going to put it in a set of slides to insert places, if we're going to print it, the PNG is the best option for us. These other file types you will see in other situations and may come in really handy in other situations, but I want you to be sure and see we can download our drawing as a graphics file type. And since we're in the graphics chapter, that turns out in our favor. Let's say you've made something here and you decide you want to make a copy of it so you can do something else to the copy without changing the original. You can go to this third option here and you can make a copy of it. When you do that, it's going to ask you to name it. You can call it copy of whatever, or you can totally rename it so it stands out as something different. It's going to be a variation of this original document that you've already created. That is another feature that can come in handy, especially if I share a template with you that's in Google Drawings. You may have to go down here and make a copy of it before you can modify it as your own. So that's the File menu in Google Drawings. Be sure and change the Page Setup first. Decide how you want this to be. And remember, you can download it as various file types or make a copy of it or move it places and do all the things we know how to do in the File menu.